Here are 3 realistic transfers for Aston Villa this summer transfer window. Let's get an understanding of Aston Villa right now. To do that, I'll use OneFootball, the sponsor for this video, to browse their squad. On OneFootball, we can go to Aston Villa's profile, where we can view all of their players and the new transfers they've already made, Ashley Young being one of them in the defence. As well as him, it's the big name signing in attack. Emi Buendia joins after a lot of speculation, and I analysed how he'll fit into Villa's team in a separate video. In terms of strikers, Watkins, Wesley and Davis are good options. Wesley is basically a new signing after barely featuring last season. Morgan Sanson in the midfield is one to keep an eye on next season. It'll be interesting to see what kind of part he plays in the team. More of an attacking player, won't really play central midfield, which is a position I think Villa need to sign another player in. Also, on Aston Villa's profile, swipe to the right and you get a whole page dedicated to transfer rumours. A great way to keep up to date on the latest news. Danny Ings is one of the rumours here. What's great as well, when you tap onto that transfer rumour, you can see where the source has come from. This one from The Athletic, so a good source. And on the topic of central midfielders, like we said, James Ward-Prowse is a player that's been linked, another Southampton player. A brilliant option in the midfield, but not one of the realistic transfers I'll be recommending. To view all team profiles, player stats and the latest news and transfer rumours, download OneFootball on your phone by clicking the link in the description. So in the midfield, I've previously recommended that Villa sign Sheikh Doucouré from RC Lens, a defensive midfielder at most, but he has shown a well-rounded ability. He'd be a top signing, a player great at tackling the ball and would win possession for the team regularly, but as well as that, he's shown he can be more than just a defensive midfielder, with the 3rd most key passes for the club last season. Dribbling ability too, and he's good at taking the ball forward. There's definitely ways in which he can influence the attack as well. He'd be a signing of a midfielder that is good defensively first and foremost, but could fill in any midfield role that Dean Smith deploys him in. An alternative midfield option to him is Jens Kujsta from FC Midtjylland, a Swedish player who was with their national team at Euro 2020. Now, the first thing to say with him is that there is heavy interest from Rennes as they look to replace Camavinga in their team. It seems likely at the moment he's going there. But to compete with the transfer, I think Villa should look to him as a midfield option. He's a midfielder who, similar to Doucouré, has shown the ability to be good on the ball, is a box-to-box type player and is good at tackling. He made 60 tackles in the Danish Superliga, and that was the 9th most in the league, but equally making 45 successful dribbles, and that was the 12th most in the league, so it shows that he has the balance to be a central midfielder. At FC Midtjylland in their 4-3-3, he plays on the right side of the midfield 3, so his heat map is very lenient to the right side. He's a midfielder who has good ground duels out of possession and in possession too, so you could regularly see him winning the ball, dribbling past the opposition and laying off a pass, suiting what Aston Villa looked to improve on last season, which was to control the match better, have more of the ball and not be on the back foot. Kujsta would be a good option in the midfield to bring that quality with the ball or without the ball and could be effective in their midfield. At Euro 2020, he only played 6 minutes against Spain, however it shows the young midfielder has got a future at an international level and could become a regular starter for Sweden. Next, I think another right back is needed. Now, it could be that Guilbert stays at the club. Also, 18-year-old academy player Kane Kessler might come into the first team and get some minutes next season. Still a position though where they could look to improve the depth in the team, and an option in the market is Nico Williams. He has been linked to Aston Villa this summer among many other Premier League clubs, as a departure from Liverpool this summer looks fairly likely. He's another player who was at Euro 2020, this time with Wales, and he played a total of 136 minutes in the tournament. He only played 248 minutes of Premier League football last season, and now being 20 years old, he's looking to get more game time. Now, I'm sure he'd get more minutes at Villa, but Matty Cash is always going to be the regular starter in the team. In comparison to Matty Cash, Williams is more of a dribbler than he is, and a carrier of the ball down the right flank. Cash was very strong defensively last season in the Premier League, so Williams is yet to prove whether he can be on that level consistently. But as an option to bring an attacking mindset on the right, forward progressive passing and attempting one-on-one situations, Williams would be a good alternative. And he's another young player like Kujsta who seems to have a future with his national team too, so that's always a good thing. Another centre-back option could be useful for Aston Villa too. I recommended Axel Tuanzebe on loan from Manchester United in my one transfer for every club video, and there has in fact been a few reports of Tuanzebe going back to Aston Villa on loan. I really think he's a top defender who deserves more of a chance to prove himself in the Premier League, so he would be a good signing for Villa. However, there is an option in the market right now, a player being tracked by many Premier League clubs, and that is Tosin at Fulham. Last season he was a starter in the Premier League alongside Joachim Andersen, and they formed a good partnership. a young centre-back getting regular minutes for the first time, and he looked comfortable at the back in the Premier League. What makes him such an opportunity in the transfer market is his reported £10 million release clause, which would really make him a top transfer. Newcastle United seem to be interested in Totten, and they'd maybe be offering more game time than Villa, so this might be what makes him join Newcastle over Aston Villa. But as an opportunity in the market for a player strong in the air and won 68% of its aerial duels last year, looked composed at the back for Fulham, mature and settled well in the team, and has got great potential to be a defender playing a big part in someone's back line, his passing was very good too, forward passing out of the defence. His progressive distance when passing was just under 12,000 yards, which was the 5th best out of centre-backs in the Premier League last season, up there with players such as Diaz, Cody, Duncan, Maguire. He'd be a top player to sign, but maybe he wouldn't want to join a club where he won't be a regular starter, as Mings and Konsa will keep their places next season. Comment below who you think Aston Villa should sign this summer. Please click the like button if you enjoyed and learned about some new players, and subscribe to Route 1 for more insight and analysis.